every Thursday, Tech Thursday, but we're going to talk about landing pages specifically today and really how you can create them and some uses for them. But anybody who's on there right now, I just see the 2 videos on here, but how are you guys using are you using landing pages right now in your business?
I'm not really using them, so that's why I'm here. I want to know how to use them. I'm not even,
Okay.
I guess I don't even fully understand how,
Okay.
how they work in concert with if you already have a web page or you have
Hmm.
something else going out. So yeah.
Awesome. And Kelly, you guys using them for anything at all right now?
Um, well, I mean, would you call like we've got separate property websites for each of our listings?
Yeah, I would call
I mean,
those would
okay,
be in that landing page category, and that is
yeah.
one of the use cases for them. I think the big thing that the way I see landing pages is they are a way to drive traffic to a specific page for one specific call to action. So your goal on them is to use the landing page to, again, to create to invite your visitors to do one specific thing on that page. What you don't want to do on that is drag them to that page and then have 14 other things that they can do on there. So the
Mhm.
goal with the landing page is that one, again, that one specific call to action, and then just what you're going to obviously then hopefully delivering on whatever drew them to that landing page. But so just some of the examples that I've used them for, or that I've seen others use them for. Number one, like Kelly said, a landing page for a specific property is a great use for it, because again, you can drive traffic to that specific, with that one specific call to action, not, hey, come look at this, and then or send them to even YouTube, right? You go to YouTube and there's 30 other suggested videos on the other side. So it's got other distractors on there. The gold landing page is just that one specific topic there. So
Mhm.
a specific property site is a great one. I'm going to share my screen to show a couple others here as well. Just some others that I have either seen or created. Actually, these are all going to be created ones that I'm going to show you here. But another one, I love this one as well. So in your database, especially if you get people who have signed up, maybe they visited you at an open house and you added them to your database. A great way to stay engaged with them, on top of sending them listing notifications and stuff like that, is to send them a list of upcoming open houses. So if you're using a website like Lofty, so Lofty has basically, they segment out their open houses, so you can create an open house landing page so that every week it's dynamically updated with all of the open houses that are available in your marketplace. And you can tell it, you can specifically set up what areas that you want to on that. So what does that look like? So here is the one I've created. So this is Triangle Region open houses this week. So every Friday morning, I send this out to my database, specifically the ones that I have tagged, that I know that came to me through an open house, because again, this is how I met them. I know they're engaged in open houses, so it's a great opportunity for me to get back in front of them with valuable information. So this is just a landing page that pulls in all of the available open houses. So I don't have to reprogram this every week. This is dynamic, so it's always going to be updated with the most recent open houses available on it. So this was specifically targeted to the areas that I serve. So you have Cary, Raleigh, Wake Forest, Chapel Hill, all of these in here. And then they can drill down on specific areas if they want to when they visit it. So this is just it's basically, this is almost like another web page on my website, more than a specific landing page, because from here they can go out and do other things. So that's one use case for
Are
them.
you, is this all being created through Lofty?
Yeah, so this specific one is Lofty. So I know I'll show you in a few minutes how you can very easily create pages like this. Another
Awesome.
use case similar to this, as we move into a place, like I was reading a stat, I think it was yesterday, from Resi Club. Resi Club is a great data source that I get a lot of market update information from. Their statistical data on that website is phenomenal. And they said that in 2025, about 35% of all listings have had price reductions. So you can create a similar page to this with just price reduced houses. So, hey, want to see what houses are, have lowered their prices? And it's the same thing. It's a dynamic. It's always going to show the most recent price reductions on it. So again, Those are two very easy to create options for it, and they're evergreen because again, it's that dynamic info. So this is always going to be updated with the most updated open houses in this case. And when I first started doing these kind of things many years ago, I had to manually go create this list every week. So it was this was a great open rate for me. I got a lot of people who would open these because again, I know that it's information that they want, that they were going to have value with. So those are two use cases. You've got an open house list and a price reduction list. Another one that works really well in tandem with something else. So, you just sold a property and you want to drive traffic, maybe you're going to send a mailer out to that neighborhood saying, hey, I just sold this. Want to find out what your valuation is. You can create a custom. So most websites now have like a find out your home value. Well, with a website engine like Lofty, you can actually then customize that page to that specific area. So I did this on the coast with a listing I had last year. It was here, I'll just pull the page up itself. No, not that one. Yes, so this one. So this one is specific to this community. So I sent 100 letters out to this neighborhood with this call to action to, hey, find out what your house is worth. And it drove them as a QR code and a link that drove them to this page. And is immediately when people go to this page, they know that this is their community. So this is a community, this is a drone shot from their page. So that it creates that it's a valid link. It creates that you're the expert. And this one letter that I sent out to 100 homeowners. I had 12 visits from that 100, and I had 6 valuation inquiries from that. So 6 leads from 100 letters, because again, it had very specific, one call to action. This is literally the page. If I scroll up and down, there's nothing else here. So there's nothing else like how great I am. Here are my other listings. This is, hey, find out what your house is worth. And it was something familiar to that neighborhood, so that that trust was amped up a little bit. This isn't just some random landing page from someone out in California who's trying to capture my information. This is someone who, drove me to this page to get specific value on my house in Waterford. So home valuations, again, if you can get a specific, so I can recreate this a dozen times for each neighborhood I sell and just basically copy it and just change the photo, change the name here, but all of this is exactly the same.
And it's probably a different topic, but are you pulling all the addresses? Like how do you get all these addresses? Are you just doing it through the MLS?
So I get that.
Are you doing
Yes, I get that data from the CRS inside of our MLS. Well, both of our MLSs, Diane, you have access to that.
Yeah.
So
okay.
so you can pull property owners and export that as a CSV file, or even you can actually create mailing labels right from.
That's what I'm
data.
doing. I just wondered if people had other cool ways.
That's the source I have, because you get
Okay.
5,000 addresses for free with that. So if you're sending out more than 5,000 a month, then good for you. You can pay for another resource.
So Diane, I know in our MLS, we can pull up public records and it will give us the properties. You can pull it up by map and it'll give us the property owners and what their addresses are, because sometimes their addresses are actually out of state. But they own a second property in that area. So we can pull all that up, and then I hand address 100 cards. I make them in Canva. I would probably, in this case, do a QR code that went to this landing page. And I hand address them and hand stamp them with a first class postcard stamp.
That's a great point, Terry. I think actually that's what I did with these two. This wasn't a postcard. This was 100 letters with a case study in it as well, which I love. If you're not doing that, check out some of Sharon's. Sharon's done a couple trainings on that specifically, where you like outline your exact what you did, like met with them on February 10th to talk about this selling their house and go through your detailed process and hey, got 10,000 over asking or whatever it was. That combined with a call to action. Yeah, absolutely.
Proof pieces. He calls them proof pieces.
Yep.
Well, and everybody's going to open a letter. But
Mhm.
not everybody, they'll toss the postcard. So I actually like that idea better, Chris. And I like that you're giving them the details of how you got to that point.
Yep,
That's
that's
great.
that proof. Like Diane was saying
Sharon
there, that's
calls
that
them
proof.
proof
Yep,
pieces is what
yep,
Sharon calls them. Yeah.
yep. So that's another one, is that home
Cool.
valuation. Another use case for it would be, especially for, I like to focus on that relocation. Hey, I'm relocating to the area, especially for me, getting some more Northerners, some more Yankees to join me down here in the South. You can create a relocation guide. So this is a landing page that I have created, making a move to Raleigh. So I've got a clear call to action on here. Another key component to, that's my headline. So I've got a clear headline there. And then another key component, if you're going to make a custom landing page, is what is the pain? What problem are you solving for them, right? So I've got moving to an unfamiliar and into an area you're unfamiliar with can be stressful. We're going to give you, this relocation guide. So it's got a clear call to action. It's got the clear headline. It's got compelling copy in here. And then you've got your single call to action that, like I said a couple times, that's key here. I'm not going to then show them 30 listings in the area. I am driving traffic to this page for one specific reason and one specific reason only, and that's to get them to download this relocation guide. So this is another template that you can just customize inside a tool like Lofty. And then another key component, as you're going to get them to hopefully scroll down to here, and then maybe if they still aren't trusting you yet, another key component to add to a custom landing page like this are some testimonials. So if you can pull in some testimonials, like if you use Lofty and you have the reviews on Zillow, you can actually automatically pull those in. So again, these aren't me; these are automatically being pulled in from that API that Lofty has with Zillow to pull that data in. So again, nothing else here. I'm not sending them to, to other listings, to my listings, anything else. It's just that one clear call to action. And then another final use case for it, like Kelly had mentioned earlier, is a single property page. So if you've got a listing and you just want to get a little more juice, because you can put more on these than a lot of listing pages. So here is a landing page for the oceanfront lot that I currently have in Topsail Beach. So this, again, more than just a, here's a link to my MLS page. This is more, I'm able to put full HD photos on here as big as I want them. It's going to scroll through that, in a carousel. If I had like a video on it and it was a house, I can embed that video right here. So again, it's that single action. I'm not drawing them to any other place. And then the way I have this one currently set up, it's annoying me right now, is after 15 seconds, it's got the lead catcher pop up is there as well. And you can customize that on a website like Lofty too. So I might want to trigger that one a little longer because you can't really get through much of the page in 15 seconds. But you can have it as soon as it, you can have it never. You can have it 15 seconds, 30 seconds, however long you want to have it. You can customize that detail on there. So again, this one does pull in some similar homes in there, but other than that, it's just that single property on there. What other use cases have you guys seen, or anybody else seen it for, or think would be a pretty cool use for it?
I have one I want to do, and I honestly don't know how to begin, but I created a probate home prep checklist if you're going to sell a probate home.
Mm-hmm.
And I want a landing page that goes to get the guide for that.
Okay. Yep.
I have no idea where to begin or how to do it.
So you would provide them the guide? Is that what
I
you're
would
saying, Terry?
provide them the guide if they asked for it. Yeah. So
Okay.
Again, originally thinking postcard that would have the QR code.
Yep. Yep.
I'm actually mailing some now. I've been writing them now, and it just says Pennsylvania probate home sale checklist, and then gives a couple details as to why you would want that, and then it says to text me to get that. But I would certainly rather them go to my website. But I don't
Absolutely. So yeah, and that is the key with most of these landing pages. You've got to have something to capture them first, right? So you got to draw their attention first. Most people aren't going to search. They're not going to Google search and get to your landing page on that, because most of them aren't even indexed, to be frank. So you've got to have another thing like that, like a postcard, like a Facebook ad or some kind of Google ad, some other ad driving them to that page. But Terry, yeah, you could absolutely create something like that, very similar to this this relocation guide would be this. You could create this very easily. Are you using Lofty right now?
I would say yes, it's a GoDaddy site, but it's in Lofty.
Okay.
But we're 10 steps over my head on most of this stuff. And what I've done once, I haven't done again for 5
Mhm.
years. So I don't know how to do it again. I don't know where to, it would be like starting over in kindergarten for me.
Yeah.
I'm
Well,
with
let's
you,
start.
Terry. I don't
Let's
really
start.
know. I get all the
Let's.
concepts, but I don't know how to really do this. Like,
And I don't
Awesome.
do
Well,
it
then
often enough. Like I'm
yeah.
not adding things often enough to remember the steps.
Mhm.
I need
Well,
someone
then
to
let's
write them
go.
down and I can go back and look at them.
Well, luckily for you, these are recorded, so you can do them, in a step by go back and when you have time to get them done, because that's what we're going to dive into next. So that's what we're going to dive into now is those. How would you do this on a platform for us today? I'm going to use Lofty because it's what I use. And it's pretty easy to get up and running. And then you can work on customization and beautifying it down the road. And if you were looking for something more beautiful, you might want to look outside of something like Lofty too, because Lofties
so
are very mechanical and work pages, but there's not a ton of, you know,
let me
beautification
get.
that you can do to them. You have limited tools inside of there, but they work. They absolutely. I mean, this is acceptable. I think what's on the screen here.
So my thing is, so I have a custom website. It's really nicely
Mhm.
done. It's got all the
Mhm.
things.
Mhm.
It's tied into Lofty. When they
Mhm.
click and do the search engine, all the IDX, it's all feeding from into Lofty.
Mhm.
I don't, can you, this is where I get stuck because like I have the website. That's really where I want to take people to and have the activity driven from there.
Mhm.
Are you able to do that if you create a landing page in Lofty? Can you connect it with your website? Like that's where I
Yeah,
get
yeah.
lost
So
in.
you could do it either way. You could have it as you could do it as a page on your website. That's not really the goal with it. Most landing pages, or you can just then add that as a link on your website if you want to direct people to, or have other people randomly get there as well. But you
Or
can do
have
it.
the web link or have the website link on your landing page, right? I guess either
You
way, I don't know.
you can. It depends on how you want to use it. The really, if you're using it as a true landing page, you're not going to distract them with 17 other things to do. So if you're trying to get them to download a relocation guide, you don't want to send them back to your
Okay.
main website.
Okay, so if you use
As
Lofty and you draw them in, they're going straight into your CRM is what you're saying.
correct. Yes,
Okay.
absolutely. Yep,
Okay.
yep,
Got
yep. So let's look at what it would look like to create a landing page like this. So luckily for you, if you are using Lofty, some of these templates are already here, and then you can just customize them how you want them to be done. So from the dashboard, so if you have Lofty, you can follow along. I am on the dashboard, and I'm going to go to website. And then under website, most people are going to have just the one. So I'm going to go to the one I have, north to south moves. And then over here on the right-hand side, you're going to see quick actions. And one of the quick actions is going to be landing page. So if I click on landing page, now it's going to give me all of these kind of ideas that they have, or you can create your own. So you can see all the ones that I've created here. You can also, it does track traffic over the last 30 days on them too. I can expand them to go 60, 90, however I wanted to do it. So I can see like that landing page for that single property. I've had 16 views, 10 people have kind of hung around on it a little longer, and no leads on that one, but my open house sign in, I've got a couple from that. So you can see they've got you a couple of templates up here, but also if you go to add a landing page and click on that little plus up there, it's going to give you all of these templates that they have. So if I want to feature a specific listing, I can use that one, new listings. So these three here, these new listings, open house listings, and price reduced listings, those are going to be those dynamic ones that I started, the the Zoom with today. So if you want to create that open house landing page with all of the open house lists, you would just select that template. If you wanted to do new listings, if you wanted to do price reduced listings, you can choose that and then customize it a little bit from there. But let's just take your example there, Terry, as you mentioned. They have it in here as they have the template in here. So if I go to buyer guide download or seller guide download, that would be a great place. You can use those templates to kind of get started. So if I wanted to select this template, I am now going to call this Tech Thursday. So call it whatever you want to. And
So
then,
sorry.
yep.
So Chris, so and I know it's recorded and I'll have to go back and watch this like 9,000 times because I'm already lost. If you go on your you have to go on your Lofty website, right? And open that up. Open like your
So-
website. Is that what you're saying? Because
No, so that's all right. Go to Lofty.
yeah.
And then up here, there's a button that says website.
Well, mine doesn't not up there. I had to actually click on more to get to that.
Okay. Are you on your dashboard or are you in what? On my dashboard, I don't know why I haven't seen your dashboard, but on mine, it's
I'm
up
in
there.
Lofty, and it's not a tab up there. I have to click
Okay.
on more, and then it says website, marketplace, whatever settings.
All right. So then go to website and then
Which I
click on
did.
your specific website.
I did.
And then in there on the right-hand side should be landing page.
And there's on
You
the
might not have it as a quick action.
it's not anywhere.
All right.
That's why. That's why. See, every time I do these classes, something's always
I know
messed up
yours,
on my
yours
end.
always looks different.
And then I get lost in
Um,
the sauce, and then I quit.
So go to adding a landing page. I'm going to go to this
Sorry.
buyer guide download and I'm going to call it Tech Thursday. Boom. You can then tell it, hey, what do you want this lead source when someone does sign up for it? How do you want it to call? How do you want it to call it? And I don't know if I have landing page. Yes, I do. So I want to specifically know that this came from a landing page, and then I'm going to set up the URL for it. So it's automatically going to default to whatever your domain is, and then it's going to have a / after it. So I'll just leave it as Tech Thursday sample, so you can have that set up. So that's where the QR code and everything that you create, or if you create like another link shortener, you can use something like that as well. So I'm going to go ahead and save that, and then that's going to create the actual template of the page. So this is the template that I've pulled in, and now I can customize it from here. So let's say I was doing exactly what Terry was. So if you hover over each one of these blocks, you'll see some options that are going to come up. So you can see I'm hovered over the header here, and I can now go in here and click this little pencil, and that's going to pull up my editing tool. So from here, I can change the background image. So like if Terry was pulling a probate court list, you pulling some image that would be more relevant to probate than kids studying in front of a PC. You can go in here and you click this little pencil again, and now you can replace this photo. So you can do that same thing for all of the images on there. And then as you scroll down, you're going to see the text that shows up in here. So here's what's in the heading. So we've got our personalized guide to buying a home. Let's call it probate. What did you call it, Terry? Probate leads or probate?
It's a probate home prep checklist.
Okay. Yeah, right. Right. So you could, we're just going to, for this, we'll just call it that. We'll just go with that. So that's our heading. So I can change that. I've changed the background photo, and then I can change my subheading here as well. So I can change this information here. Download our free checklist below. So now I'm customizing this completely to however I want it to be. I'm going to change this information here. So I've clicked that out. So I'm good there. So all of my information on that box is done. Now I'm going to go into this box, and you'll see this pencil shows up. So I go into this, and now I can change whatever this is to be whatever image I want it to be. And then as I scroll down, I am going, or sorry, scroll back up. So now I've got get your guide. I can change that there. It can be get your checklist. and then whatever information I want under there, my bullet points. I then have the opportunity to put that PDF in here. So if I want them to instantly get that PDF or that checklist, I would just put that file in there, and that's what's going to send to them as soon as they hit submit. So if you have it set up so that as soon as they hit the submit, that they get that guide or whatever it is, you put that, choose that file, you put it in there.
Okay, so where do
And-
I find that file? Because it's something that I created in Canva. So where do I find that file?
So you would download it from Canva as a PDF. So you should have an option inside of Canva to download any document as a PDF and then upload it to that exact placeholder right there. And then that'll instantly send it to them. You don't have to worry about them texting you and you sending it to them. So this, and that person would automatically be added to your website. So then you can further customize these as well, however you wanted to. So that's pretty much like that template right there. So that's the templated one. But I now can go up here, and if you click on, if you see here are these options up top, I have these options to add these other blocks. So if I wanted to add a video
Chris,
in here,
do you have the standard Lofty, or are you paying for something more? Maybe
I
that's
just have the standard Lofty, just my 40. Well, it's going to 50, I think, next month. Dollar website, or 49 or something like that. So from here, I can then choose what kind of content I want to add. So if I wanted to add a video, I would just go in here to the whatever the content is that I want to add. If I want to add a video, I can just drag and drop it into that place. And now that video placeholder is in here, and I can go edit the source for that as well. So I can add and drop that link in there. So you have complete customization to this within the boundaries of what Lofty, as an example, can do. But it's a really easy drag and drop design. Now, again, if you were using this something and maybe you didn't want to let everybody know that you're doing this as a real estate person in here, you also have some options in the settings to, this is where I was talking about, like on that landing page for that single property. I have it, how to trigger registration. Never require registration, require registration based on page views, require registration based on browsing time. So let's say I'm going to set it to 30 seconds. So now they get 30 seconds for free before I'm going to force them to register. Now for Terry, on a landing page, like for a guide, you're probably not going to force registration. You're going to make them, there's already a form on there for them to fill out. And it's not like they're going to get it. So you may never require registration for a page like that. And then you can also add some other stuff here. Some final stuff that you can do to the page in general is you can set up the style so that you either don't have your heading or your footing. So if you don't want those on there, I can just go to my footer and I can just delete this off of here. It's not in there. I'll just go to the actual.
So that
pages.
doesn't delete it from the entire site. It only deletes it from that page.
Correct. Yep. Absolutely. Yep. So then once I finish with that, I can take a look at this, and I hit this little eyeball up here, and that's going to give me a preview of what the site's going to look like. So now I can see what a consumer is going to look like. If I click over to mobile, it's going to show what it looks like on a mobile device as well. And then once I'm ready to go, I would go ahead and hit publish. And then like I said, any leads that sign up on that would go directly into my CRM.
So I
And
found
then-
it, Chris. It was under
Okay.
marketing. It's under marketing. It's not in my website specific under my
All
website.
right.
It's actually
Well,
in
there you go.
the marketing tools.
So once I have this page ready, I can hit that's publish, and now it's ready to go. It's active on my site.
Cool.
So yeah, you can create any kind of landing page like that to get you going. But what questions do you guys have as we wrap up this session here?
And then once you've created that, you're just embedding a link into some email or whatever, wherever you're putting this into the universe.
Yep. Yeah. So then you've got to decide, probably before you've had some forethought on that, like, where is this? How am I going to drive traffic to this? Is this going to be, I'm just going to drop this link on my Facebook page? Am I going to run an ad for this? Am I going to send handwritten letters? Am I using a postcard? Yeah. So you're going to design whatever vehicle you're driving traffic to that site with as well. What other questions, thoughts you guys have?
Well, that was hugely helpful.
Awesome.
I'm
Yeah,
gonna
now I know
hire-
where it is. Now I know. Big win.
Right? So I
Yeah.
did just drop in the chat if you were interested in signing up for those weekly notifications. Again, I don't know if you were on, Terry, but we're going to bi-weekly starting next week with Tech Thursdays. So the first and third Thursdays of the month, same time, 8 o'clock. I'm sorry, 8:30. We're going to go for 45 minutes on that. So they're going to go from 8:30 to 9:15 ish. If you sign up for that, it'll send you reminders because that's one of the biggest things that I get is, hey, I wanted to be on it, but I totally forgot about it. So if you sign up for that link that I just dropped in the chat there, that will send you those auto notifications on the day before, well, the half hour before the call starts.
Perfect.
Awesome. Well, thank you all very much for being on here today, and we'll see you next Thursday. And yeah, I'll get to the May topics out as soon as possible.
Thank you, Chris.
Bye, guys. Have a good one.
Bye.